Meteorologist Ainsley Goebel, and you're watching FSU Weather. Right now we've got our live look at Doak, and it is 81. Can you believe it? It's a 6:30 p.m. in March, and we're sitting at 81. Beautiful. Go watch this episode outdoors if you can. The rest of the area is going to be sitting at about the same amount, with our low in Apalachicola right there at 69. Still pretty warm and a great day to be outside. In terms of our radar, we really don't have much, not anything that's going to stick. So you don't have to worry about anything in the way of rain. For tonight, we are going to see a stark contrast with the cool down. It's going to drop significantly, so if you have any outdoor errands to run, I would suggest getting them done before the sun goes down. And same thing for your day planner tomorrow. We're going to have a pretty dramatic warm up there as well. So again, if you have any plans, I would wait until a little bit later in the day if you like the warm weather. If you want to do a brisk walk, you can do that in the morning if you like the cooler weather as well. And for your headlines, right now we are looking at the city of the week in Nashville, and we're also going to be going over the chances of rain and storms that we've seen, or that we're going to see later in the week, as well as the tornado outbreak that just recently hit the southeast. All this and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm student meteorologist Sloan Dulaney.
And this is student meteorologist Jack Anderson.
We've got a beautiful week coming up. Besides Thursday, we're about to start officially the start of spring in 2 days.
I know.
How crazy is that?
So excited for that. I know we really haven't had a whole bunch of cold weather other than, the snow that occurred.
Right.
But I'm very excited for the warm weather, up ahead. And, summer,
Yes, we've got some warm temperatures on the way, but that also means we're entering into severe weather season as well. So we're going to be talking about all the tornado outbreaks on today's show, those devastating effects. We also are talking a little bit about Nashville, our spotlight city.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yes, thankfully about that. I've been to Nashville, went over Thanksgiving break. There was cooler temperatures there, so I had, my little puffer coat on. Thankfully, we won't need that anymore,
Yep,
now that we're finally getting to these summer temperatures. But I did have some fun. Got to see a couple flurries, in Nashville. Thankfully, no snow here in Florida,
I'm jealous. I really want to go to Nashville. That's like one of my bucket list cities.
Yeah, sure. Broadway City is the best. You're just walking around, really just getting to see the town, seeing the nightlife, and, just seeing the music.
I love it. What's like one of your bucket list cities? What do you think?
I think my bucket city probably would be New York City. I've never been there. I just know that.
That's such a good one.
Yeah.
That's such a good. I went a couple summers ago. It was awesome.
I've just heard so many good things about it. Times Square, like counting down. Just my mom's from New York too,
exactly.
So
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
So I've just really always wanted to go.
Yeah, they're definitely a little bit cooler up there, probably in the start of or the middle of March, but we've been looking beautiful. I need to get outside, definitely.
So now let's look at the Big Bend region. Well, now we're gonna just send it off to you.
That's right. So currently it's 81 in Tallahassee. Beautiful weather, like we've been mentioning. Sun is out, so please enjoy that weather. It's March, and we're seeing those beautiful temperatures. Again, on our radar, we're not seeing anything for the most part. Should be seeing some impacts come later in the week, but as for now, get outside and enjoy that. As for tonight, our temperatures are going to drop. Tallahassee 44, a little bit warmer along the coast, 50 in St. Marks and 51 in Caribou. But other than that, it's a little chilly for the night, so if you plan on going out, just make sure you bundle up and do so. Our future radar and clouds, as mentioned, we're going to be seeing that storm move through about Thursday morning, so just be aware of that. But after that, it should clear out, and we're going to be seeing those, again, beautiful temperatures as we've been seeing so far this week. Again, our temperature for tomorrow, 82 and warm and sunny. A little bit of a breeze out of the south, but other than that, it's going to be pretty much a copy and paste of today with beautiful sun and conditions very similar. Again, tomorrow afternoon, temperatures are sitting around the 80 mark here in Tallahassee, with the coast looking a little bit cooler at 73 in St. Marks and Apalachicola. But overall, great temperatures around, so get outside and do what you need to. Our dog walk forecast, as you can see, it's a little cold in the AM. I would maybe recommend going a little later in the day when the sun comes up and starts to warm up the area around. But then, like I mentioned, no rain on the forecast for Wednesday, but Thursday we're going to be seeing an 80% chance of rain. And then for your weekend, it should die down a bit, but again, we might be seeing another chance for some thunderstorms come Monday. And then again, our 7-day forecast, 82 tomorrow, and our Thursday is going to be rainy, so definitely plan ahead for that, but should make out for a beautiful weekend with temperatures just below 80 degrees Saturday and Sunday. So if you have any outdoor plans, definitely take advantage of that before the rain comes back again on Monday. But Jack, how about the rest of Florida? What are we looking at?
Yes, so the rest of Florida, I'm so excited to talk about that. What we are seeing right now is our current temperatures, and you can see overall super mild, but overall super nice. Again, it's almost spring, but you can see right now we're really getting to really enjoy these nice temperatures. You look at you, 76 for you in Miami. Our cool spot right now is 69 degrees in my lovely hometown, Pensacola, Florida. Now you can see overall just a couple showers off for you in Naples, but overall, again, amazing weather as we go into the evening and even a great sunset that we see. Now for you, Miami, look at this. 80 degrees as we go into Wednesday and Thursday, cooling off a little bit for you on Friday, but then warming back up very nicely for a great weather on Saturday for your weekend. Same thing for you, Fort Myers. You can see it's going to warm up, cool off a little bit on Friday, and then warm up for great weather if you're going out and the coast, you know, you're on a boat, you know, just enjoying those weathers there. Live radar for you in Orlando. Again, some great weather conditions, just a couple showers in the distance, but overall nothing that's really going to cause any precipitation or rainfall actually at all. Same thing for you in Orlando. We're going to talk about some great perfect light weather conditions, 71 degrees on Friday. Look at this, our lows is getting into 47 both Friday and Saturday night. Look at this in Jacksonville. Let's look at some great sunshine conditions. I don't know about you guys, but I currently wish I was in Jacksonville this weekend because I was in Jacksonville 2 weeks ago and I loved it there, but it was a little rainy there. Now some great weather conditions. Now look at our live radar. Not anything in the sky, some super nice weather conditions. Now let's go to my lovely hometown, Pensacola, Florida. You can see we actually do have that cold front coming through. That's why our high is 76 on Wednesday and then cooling back off to 63 on Friday, but then we'll warm back up to 73. My parents, if I were you, I'd make sure to go out to the beach, you know, enjoy the UV because I'm sure it's going to be 7, 8, and maybe even a 9 if we get lucky. Future clouds and radar. Now what we've kind of been talking about, we're going to see that rain come across to the Tallahassee, Big Bend area starting Thursday morning. Stay tuned because maybe that could change, but as of right now, I would make sure you bring a rain jacket or a coat to class because you definitely are going to need to do that if you have an 8 a.m. or, you know, even those 9:45 because I know I'll be going to radiative transfer and don't want to be getting wet when I'm going over there. And then as it goes off into Fort Myers, Miami, that's going to be more of a Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So again, stay tuned for that. We have another weather show for you Wednesday night, so make sure you know that. Tuesday evening overall, tonight's forecast, you can see cloudy conditions just for you in Key West. Overall, overcast clouds everywhere else. And then tomorrow's forecast, look at this. Perfect weather conditions all across the state, all across the region. Sounds great to me. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ainsley, where she is going to be talking about the Southeast region. And let's take a brighter scope at that.
Yes, thank you, Jack. So right now we're looking at all the cams all across the Southeast. It's pretty sunny out. This is my first time really seeing the daylight saving hit the time change. I've been sleeping off my jet lag after spring break, so definitely a crazy thing to notice. We are looking at pretty toasty conditions all across the area. 81 in Tallahassee, and actually Miami is one of the cooler areas with 76, but our low is 69 in Jacksonville. So we've got Florida all over the map there. For our dew points, we are seeing some pretty low dew points. It's going to be kind of dry. That's probably why we're getting all those stark differences with the temperature with day and night. It's going to cool off really quickly, warm up really quickly, and you can see that cold front that's going to be moving through soon. They are carrying a little bit more of those humid temperatures. In terms of our radar, we really aren't seeing much. We are just going to have clear skies until we get to Thursday, and that's what we're going to be seeing here. So we're going to watch these storms kind of form almost right before the Tallahassee area, and they're going to move past pretty quickly actually, but you are going to see that the clouds stick around for a little bit longer, so we'll be watching and they will tell you a little bit more on those later. If you do find yourself in Nashville, Tennessee this weekend, you're going to have a little bit of a rainy and storm chance there, as well as some lower temperatures as it dips down. But it is going to kind of be all over the board as you look around, but you'll be rewarded at the end with a little bit of sunshine and perfect temperatures. And if you find yourself in New Orleans, you're going to get quite a bit of sunshine. This is a great week for you guys. It's going to be 80, and then it's going to cool down a little bit more to those more comfortable temperatures. Great days to get outside. I would definitely take advantage of this nice and sunny weekend. And for tonight, again, you're going to see those temperatures dip down pretty far as we have those like low dew points. So you're going to see a lot of the 58 is about what we're getting to up in Nashville, and then 66 in Shreveport, and 60 down in places like Miami. But again, lows dipping pretty low compared to the highs for the day. And for tomorrow, we're going to see highs, again, toasty like today. It's going to warm up, shoot up right away, and it's going to be 83 in places like Montgomery, and again, it's going to be a little bit warmer. You can see 77 down in places like Key West, and it's going to be sitting all across the mid to upper 70s and lower 80s, so you're going to get all of that beautiful weather. Definitely take advantage of it and go outside. I definitely know the UV is going to be pretty nice, and we're going to be looking at some other places across the southeast, and Oceana is going to tell us a little bit about Nashville.
Yeah, so we're going to go into one of my favorite places. I actually just got back from there for the weekend, and it was definitely a little rainy on Saturday, but that is not the case right now. Music City is 77 and sunny, almost like the country song Sunny and 75. Tonight's forecast dipping down into the 50s and 40s, 55 in Nashville, upper 40s for you in Montcrest and Dunlap, 51 in Shelbyville, and 57 in Clarksville. Now for tomorrow, you will be starting out a little bit chilly in the upper 50s, warming up just a bit, but our conditions will be mostly overcast. As you can see, that cloud coverage will remain throughout the day, but your rain chances will start to ramp up as we go into the evening. Now let me time that out for you. As you wake up tomorrow, expect all the cloud coverage, and then your rain will really start to make its way into the region mid-afternoon into the evening. So here that scattered storms making its way through the Nashville and Middle Tennessee area around evening hours into 8:30. And this is that cold front really making its way through, and then behind it some more cloud coverage, and then some models are showing that there is a potential for some wintry precipitation come Thursday, but nothing is too consistent right now to make any solid choices on that. Now, like we said, tomorrow cloudy, Thursday, another chance for some rain. Whether or not that is wintry precipitation, we are yet to find out. Friday and Saturday, though, that cold front is going to leave you with some really nice conditions. Look at all that sunshine, chances for precipitation, basically none. With those temperatures, though, check that out. 29 will be your low on Friday after that cold front, and then 62 will be your high on Friday. You're starting off your weekend in the upper 60s, lows in the mid 40s, so you're looking for a very beautiful weekend down there in Nashville if you want to hit Broadway. But again, you're going to need that raincoat and that umbrella on Wednesday and into Thursday. Now, we're going to check out the rest of the United States. Daniela, what's going on with the National?
Yeah, thank you, Oceana. So we have a lot going on around the country right now, and even large temperature gradients as well. We're seeing 82 in Dallas, 31 in Salt Lake City, 37 in Billings, and of course towards the mid-Atlantic coast, we're seeing 66 in DC right now, and lots of fronts, or excuse me, a front. We have play the game of spot the front here. We have a cold front here just entering Texas and into the Central Plains, bringing a lot of some wintry mix up to our Central Plains and towards Colorado as well. And even see those dew points here fairly dry, especially 7 in Denver, 12 in Albuquerque, and 27 as well in Billings. And for the next couple of weeks, we can anticipate a more warmer trend in temperatures once that winter weather passes, especially towards the west coast of the country. Can see above average temperatures as the New England and northern areas of the country can anticipate some below average temperatures as we walk our way into spring in the next couple of days. Taking a look across the country right now, we see again some wintry precipitation across the Four Corners and some drier weather throughout the rest of the country. We do have a high pressure sitting over Florida right now, a low pressure system around the Central Plains, which will eventually bring a front to the Florida and southeast area later on in the week. But with this system, we also still have a lot of warnings across the country. We have some red flag warnings and even some dust storm warnings in New Mexico, and blizzard warnings as well in Denver and Wyoming. But as we get farther towards the eastern coast, we still have some flood watches and warnings from the severe weather we had over the weekend, which dumped a lot of rain into those regions. And even then, now we have those red flag warnings, but we can anticipate those to have a little bit of relief as there's some rain that will be expected in the Central Plains, and of course in normal fashion we're going to see again those higher rain totals towards the Pacific Northwest as well. And to look into the more severe weather throughout the week, since it is now spring and it is now the season for severe weather, thankfully though we have a non-severe to marginal risk towards the Central Plains this week. And for day 2, however, we do have a little bit of a slight increase as we go into Illinois and Indiana with a 2 out of 5 slight risk for severe weather. But after that, towards the end of the week, we have some non-severe storms towards the far northern parts of the country and even to the Atlantic coast, but nothing to worry about as of now. So that is a good thing. We get a little bit of a break this week for much of the country, even especially after the severe weather we had last week. But for tonight's temperatures, most of us are going to be pretty cool. We're going to see 26 in Billings, 31 in Albuquerque, and mostly the 50s and 60s as you get into the southeast as well. Tomorrow, however, those temperatures will shoot up, especially those in the southeast region, seeing some 80s. But those in the Central Plains and on the Pacific Northwest, a lot of 40s and 50s going your way and a little bit of rain and snow as well. But now we're going to move a little bit closer to home back to Tallahassee with Ayanna. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I mean, a lot going on in the National, but here in Tallahassee, we're looking at those clear skies all around campus, even at the Sportsplex. Go head outside, kick a soccer ball, have some fun. It's nice temperatures to do so, but as we head into those evening hours, it's going to be a little bit cooler, just dropping down to 51 overnight hours, so maybe grab a jacket if 51 is a little bit cold for you. And for that pool forecast, I'm definitely going to be heading out to the pool tomorrow. I think that UV is going to be great, maybe lather up on that sunscreen, but we're going to be looking at 80, even maybe 82 tomorrow, so definitely head out, enjoy the weather. I know that we had spring break, but you know, here in Tallahassee, we always get that good weather as well. And for that beach forecast, we are looking at 70 on Saturday and then 72 on Sunday. A little bit of clouds rolling in, but nothing to worry about there. And so for those delays, we're not looking at anything in Tallahassee Airport. We got that high pressure system leaving us nice and clear here in Tallahassee. And even for the rest of the regions, we're not really seeing much delays. A little bit in Denver, but again, they were looking at some wintry precip there. And then for the Sportsplex, we're looking at a nice 75, mostly clear, and we got a little bit of wind going on, but just nice conditions to be outside, go have some fun with your friends. And for that nightlife forecast, again, dipping down a little bit in the evening hours, still getting a little bit cooler, 56, but mostly clear. So maybe, you know, it's Tuesday, head out, have some fun times in Campus Town. I know it'll be a great time to do so. And speaking of those warmer temperatures that we've been seeing all week, we're going to be seeing those kind of as we head into spring. Spring's in 2 days, and you know, with spring, that also means that there's going to be some severe weather, which means tornadoes, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Sloan, Daniela, take it away.
Yes, thank you, Ayanna. Obviously, as we are moving into the spring season, that is going to be when that severe weather risk really ramps up, and we saw a prime example of that this weekend in the southeast and in the Midwest, really all across the country as well, had devastating effects.
Yeah, so this weekend we unfortunately had some severe weather impacting almost the entire southeast and parts of the Central Plains. There's at least 70 confirmed tornadoes between March 14th and March 16th. We even had a couple of EF4s in Arkansas, possibly talks of upgrading one to an EF5, but that has not yet been official yet. There's still a lot more preliminary tests they have to do before they do that. But unfortunately, at least 40 people across 7 states have lost their lives due to this tornado outbreak that happened. We had a rare high risk that was issued the day before, which hadn't been done in about 13 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's 2012.
Yeah. That's crazy. And again, we want to kind of take this time to explain a little bit about tornado safety, just because it is very, very important to keep aware of that and stay weather aware when you do have that in your area. So a really big piece of advice is to always get to the lowest level of your home wherever you're at. So obviously here in Florida, a lot of us don't have basements. Basements would be a prime place for you to go. But if you don't have a basement, the lowest level of your house and also that innermost part of your house as well is going to be the safest. Just putting as many walls as you can between the outside and yourself is going to be very, very important.
Yeah, it's crucial, especially because you can't be around windows, like you said. You know, if you have a storm shelter, I know some places, especially towards the Midwest, have more of those as well. But here in the Southeast, we mostly got the interior room of your home, and you know the most bottommost floor. Even if you're in an apartment or a dorm, it'd be a great idea to go to the bottommost floor in a central hallway, because the higher up you are, the more at risk you are to injury or to structural collapse if a tornado is to directly hit.
Right, exactly. And if you do find yourselves on the roads as well, definitely making sure to get into the lowest ditch you can find is very, very important. Also making sure that you're getting out of that vehicle, because that car, once the winds start going, it's able to kind of lift up way more than a person can. So definitely make sure to get out of your car and stay away from overpasses as well, because those can be very, very dangerous. And also getting away from that car once you do get out of it is very, very important as well.
Yeah, a great highlight on the note on overpasses, because a lot of people, I don't think, understand that it's actually more dangerous. The overpass is not going to protect you. If only the winds are going to be stronger underneath the underpass, and it's going to suck you in, and the chances of survival are very minimal. And like you said, in a car, you think you're safe because you have seatbelts, you have airbags, but that is not the case. It is still a very dangerous situation you're putting yourself in, which is why it's important to, again, get out of your car in that situation, as scary as that might be. But if you're in a lower ground in a ditch, you have better chances of surviving.
Exactly. And then again, just kind of formulating the difference between like a watch and a warning. So a watch is going to be that time where conditions are favorable for that tornado to form, but with a warning, that means action needs to be taken and there is a confirmed tornado.
Yeah, so our hearts go out to all those people and those families affected in the southeast. Thankfully, much of the country is going to experience mostly clear to non-severe showers and storms this week, and so we can get a little bit of a break from that severe weather. But now we're going to switch back to Tallahassee for our local and see what's going on for the rest of the week.
Thank you guys, those were some really awesome tips. I know I for sure learned something. But looking at our current temperatures, so we've got a beautiful 75 in Tallahassee, and then Carabel is kind of our cold spot with a 66. So overall some beautiful temperatures right now. Get outside if you can. And then for the radar, there's really nothing going on, nothing to worry about. Very, very clear day, but that's not going to last very long. On Thursday, we're definitely going to have some weather moving in. But for our current temperatures, once again, we are sitting at a beautiful 81 with a cold spot, once again, at 69 in Apalachicola. So very, very temperate temperatures, kind of hovering in the 70s and low 80s with our slight cold spot, dipping into the 60s, but overall, once again, just beautiful temperatures for today, and that's going to continue into tomorrow as well. However, that is going to change overnight. So that hot spot that cold spot that we had is actually going to turn into our hot spot at Apalachicola with a 53. But the rest of us, we are going to cool down into the 40s. So as warm as it is during the day, definitely remember it is still cooling off at night. So if you have night plans to go out, go to dinner, whatever, definitely grab that cardigan or that jacket. And then as far as our day planner goes, so at 6 a.m. it's going to be still very, very chilly, so definitely be aware of that. But throughout the day, we're going to have a beautiful day. It's going to warm up into the 70s by noon, and then it should hit the 80s by the afternoon, and we're going to cool off a little bit again in the late evening. But it is going to be a beautiful day. Get outside, take advantage of it. It's a perfect day to be outside. But as we move into Thursday, which it kind of blew by really, really quickly here, which is kind of how that storm is going to be as well. It's going to come in pretty quickly on Thursday morning and be out of here by Thursday afternoon, but definitely be aware of that. And as good as the weather is going to be tomorrow, go ahead and throw that umbrella or jacket in your car and be ready for the rain on Thursday morning. Tomorrow, once again, a beautiful day, 82, take advantage of it. Go to the pool, get outside, enjoy the weather. It's a great pool day. And then for tomorrow afternoon, continued on into that great weather, 80s all around, with that kind of cooler spots around the coast in the lower 70s, which is still absolutely perfect. It's a great day to walk on the beach if you find yourself down there, but still a beautiful day inland to get outside, go to a park, go on a walk, go on a picnic, just do something outside and enjoy the weather after the slight cold snap that we just had. Once again, though, looking at those rain chances, we are dipping into 80% on Thursday and then once again on Monday. But we are going to move into our 7-day forecast with, again, that look on Thursday, we're going into rain chances in the 80s. And that night, we're actually dipping into the 30s as well. So that's something to be aware of. And then once again, on Monday, we are going to be potentially seeing that rain. So next off, we're going to move back to the desk with Jack and Ayana. And what did you guys do for spring break?
Thanks, Michaela. So yeah, I mean, I just went home, enjoyed the weather here in Florida. I live in Florida. But yeah, I just spent some time at home. How about you?
So I drove past your home, and then I actually got on a port ship in Miami, and I went to the cruise to the Bahamas, me and my 11 other friends. You know, it was fun. Really got some tan, you know, really got a good break from, you know,
tan.
thanks.
You look tan.
I mean, you do too.
We're both tan.
Yeah,
we
you're
came back
tan.
from spring break and we were just, we're all glowy now.
Yep. Can't wait for it to go away, but
Yeah. But I mean, speaking of spring break, that leads into spring, which
Yes.
is in 2 days, which is exciting. But
so
along with that,
excited.
you know, we have that severe weather like we talked about. So just make sure you're staying safe with that
Yes.
as we head into the rest of this spring season and then into the summer with
Yes.
hurricane season.
we
as well.
do have our frontal systems that come through and can produce severe weather. Thankfully, the one on Thursday is not supposed to be too severe, but make sure you stay tuned and make sure you stay safe to FSU weather because we will give you reports as we go on because, like we said, it is spring, which produces severe weather. So make sure you stay
Absolutely.
tuned to that.
Yep, and I mean, with this warm temperatures, it's been so hard to focus on getting back to school after spring break. I mean, I'm just like, we're still in spring break mode right now.
I know, like, the last thing I want to do is, like, be doing homework, and so I'm like, let's just
I
go to your
know.
apartment and, like, tan, like.
Yeah, I know. Maybe we'll be tanning tomorrow. It's gonna
Yeah.
be nice 82. But yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed. Follow us on X at FSU Weather.
Yes, and follow us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And then also follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And then subscribe to us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And then also we're on TikTok at FSU Weather. We're gonna give you guys one last look at your 7-day forecast.
Yes, and you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. Go out and enjoy your night. Thank you.